Hey everybody, so Sim Update 11 Beta has had its second release. The first was 1.29.22.0 and this is 1.29.25.0. So it is the second release. It was just updated today. I just downloaded it probably an hour or two ago, maybe 3 hours ago. Might be closer at this point, because I've had a chance to fly a few times. These are the release notes. Several crashes been fixed across the title, ongoing performance optimization work, fixed graphical artifacts on cockpit screens when using DX12, broken rendering of rainbows, center of gravity no longer shown outside of limits, after takeoff live air traffic planes no longer keeping low altitude. Fixed an off by one error on fuel junction settings. Display state of combustion and engine added in debug window. And there was some developer and SDK changes as well. Not a whole lot for performance mentioned other than the one line about memory optimization. Now you may be noticing that my trees are orange and not the typical green. I'm using a Seasons pack right now that I had purchased on Sim Market quite some time ago and never really used it because of the frame rate hit. As nice as it looked, the frame rate hit was more than I wanted to put up with, and so I haven't really used it. So I thought I'd give it a try with the changes that have been made, and I mean literally I haven't used this in months and months and months. So it looks really good right now, and performance wise seems to be pretty good. I'm on basic medium settings. You can see I have on and boost for the reflex, low latency. Reprojection mode right now is off. I'm on performance. I've been bouncing back and forth between performance and balance, and the reprojection mode between off and depth. I'm just not really sure yet if I see a whole lot of difference with the Quest. You can notice in the background, though, the trees going by here at this setting and the performance I'm getting. You can see that I do have the bloom and the glare and reflections and all that turned on and turned up. So these are my advanced settings. I just have everything on medium. Now, I normally would turn up the anisotropic filtering and the texture super sampling, as well as the synthesis and the trees. But I'm just trying it right now on medium, just straight out of the box with the RTX 3070 on my Alienware laptop. Just straight out of the box, Quest 2, SteamVR, virtual desktop, setting on medium. And most of the settings in the Nvidia control panel pretty standard to what we've been using. Now you notice in the upper corner it says OpenXR Toolkit disabled. Again, these are just more of the advanced settings showing what they are if you select medium. I've been playing with the OpenXR Toolkit disabled. Someone actually mentioned that with some of the changes it may not really be needed any longer. As far as the scaling goes, I still will use it for sunglasses and color for sure, but as far as scaling goes, so I have it completely disabled right now. There are a couple little stutters here and there. But overall I think it's pretty smooth. I think the response is pretty quick. Like I said, a little stutter or a little skip here and there, but I also have some settings on now that I wouldn't normally have on. So I really could get rid of some of that stutter by turning some of those things down, like terrain shadows. They look pretty nice when you can really turn them up, but they really, to me, are a big frame hit. So I usually will turn terrain shadows off. Right now they're on because I just, like I said, selected medium. But I mean, look, the Spaceball Diamond and seeing the dugout and the bleachers, even though they weren't 3D, getting this close to the buildings is, like I said, a little bit of stutter, but part of that is also this Seasons pack that I'm using. Now, if you're wondering about that, it's I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Bijan, Bijan Seasons, Bijan Seasons, and this is the latest, most up-to-date version that's available. I purchased mine through Sim Market. Again, I purchased it probably close to a year ago, maybe. It was shortly after it came out, the first version, and just haven't used it. So even getting up high here, looking in the Quest, you can see I got some good detail in the cockpit. I have no problem reading my gauges any longer. And the detail in the distance looks pretty good. I can see some pretty good detail even in the distance. And if I didn't have the Bijan Seasons installed right now, the performance would probably be even better. Because, like I said, it does take a frame hit. It's turning every tree orange and red and yellow and gold, and so that's a lot of scenery changing by adding all these new trees. But I think the performance is good enough. We're gonna just fly a little bit here, and we'll see how it goes flying around the Asheville, North Carolina, Blue Ridge Mountain area here. And it's close runs, so up high, and different conditions here. Now, if you want to jump ahead, the second half of this video, I leave the OpenXR toolkit disabled, but I do make one change. I go in to the Nvidia control panel, and I make one change in there, and that's the scaling. I enable the scaling. And I wasn't really sure if there was much of a difference. I don't know, maybe watching the video on the big screen I'll be able to tell a difference. But in my headset, I'm not sure I really saw that much of a difference with the scaling turned on in the control panel. The performance still seems to be pretty good, even though I'm staying down low here. Yeah, it seems to be pretty good performance here still. Okay, so now I've added some clouds and image scaling is enabled. So now, of course, clouds will hit, they cause a frame rate hit anytime you enable clouds, or massive moving objects up there that have to be rendered. And my takeoff is not going to be very good here. So just bear with me. Yeah, sorry about that. I've completely revamped my flight yoke and all my flight gear on my stand. I got some new brackets, so now my flight yoke, instead of being mounted up high, is actually down lower in between my legs, more where it should be. But it's a change for me, and I'm kind of getting used to it. So, but like I was saying, so now clouds are on. The OpenXR toolkit still disabled. Image scaling in the control panel, the Nvidia control panel, I've enabled that. And I think I have sharpen is on 40. Still got the BJN trees in my community folder. And so, like I said, I'm not entirely sure yet on the image scaling. The buildings may look a little sharper, maybe a little crisper. But we'll fly a little bit and we'll see what we see. It doesn't seem to have drastically affected performance to enable that. And I did shut down the sim and completely restart it, as well as SteamVR once I made that change, just to make sure. Yeah, so you can see a little bit of stutter there. Sometimes that happens just when you go into a new region, but I think it's partially because of the trees more than anything. Yeah, to me that looks quite clear down there. All the water tanks down here. Let's take a closer look, shall we? I love that sun glare and the reflections. I love being able to have that enabled. It just adds so much more to the immersiveness. Yeah, okay, yeah. Thank goodness they don't have wires between those high tension lines. I probably would have crashed so many more times than I have. So many times I'm down below that level. And it's like, and they come out of nowhere. You could be flying, and all of a sudden it's like, oh man, there's that tower. And it's like, wow, thank goodness there aren't wires coming from it. Yeah, maybe the image scaling does improve it. Maybe it does improve it. Looks pretty good to me in my eyes here. Again, using a Quest headset, Quest 2 headset, SteamVR, virtual desktop. I did try the Earlink again. I spent a lot of time on it and a lot of time with it. I'm back at SteamVR. I know it works really good, Earlink and the link cable, but not with my computer. So I use SteamVR. I'm sure these others like me that have to use SteamVR or that prefer to use it with virtual desktop. These are my computer specs here. Wow, look how good that looks down there before I show the specs. Yeah, it looks nice. These are my computer specs. It's a Alienware laptop with the RTX 3070, 32 gig of RAM. Nothing really special about the laptop, but it runs VR really sweet with the settings that I have in place. And if you go to my channel, and I'll put a link in the description, I did a recent Sim Update 11 settings. You saw right now in the in-game settings, I just selected medium. I didn't really, so it's real easy to tell you the settings that I have. Select medium. There you go. The OpenXR Toolkit settings, well, I'm not using it right now. The Nvidia control panel settings, those are in my other video. They're in a couple different videos. And there's nothing really changed on those. And the performance to me seems to be pretty darn sweet. Yeah, I like the trees. This is the Biltmore. This is the Belmore Mansion in Asheville, North Carolina. Kind of went by it a little quick there, didn't we? Let me spin around here and see. Yeah, look at this. Definitely looks nice. So look at the gardens down here, and yeah, it's just a massive place. This is within an hour's drive of where I currently reside. I haven't made it there yet. They have a restaurant and they have an inn you can stay in, or a little hotel area. Supposedly one of the best wine cellars in existence. Whoa, that was weird. Wow, I gotta be careful. I forget sometimes which plane I'm in, and this is the Spit, and the Spit doesn't like certain moves. And it will definitely spin you down, but yeah, here we go. The Belmore Mansion, take a look. Whoop, Yeah, so you see that little stutter that just happened, but in almost 20 minutes of flying, that was really the only big stutter like that. So, hey, thanks for watching, testing so you don't have to, and we'll see you in the skies.